Hey, when people think of Rebel News, they think of the truckers in Canada. But if they had to name one video that blew them away, something that is sort of our signature, I think it was when Avi Yamini and I were in the streets of Davos with our whole team, and we caught Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer. And this was right in the middle of the lockdowns, and we walked and grilled him and scrummed him. It was an amazing interview. He gave very few answers, almost none.
Why did you keep it a secret that your vaccine did not stop transmission?
Is it time to apologise to the world, sir? To give refunds back to the countries that poured all their money into your vaccine that doesn't work, your ineffective vaccine?
But it was super viral. I think in all the different mediums, that video was seen 40 million times. And there's a reason for it. No one else other than Rebel News goes to Davos to cover the World Economic Forum. Those are the VVIPs, the masters of the universe who rule over us. It's tough to get there. It's tough to get these guys on microphone, on camera, but we've been doing it for years, and we are going back. We're flying this Sunday, landing Monday, and we're going to give her. I'm going. My colleague and cameraman Lincoln J is going. Avi is going from Australia. Benji is his colleague and cameraman. And of course, Efron Monsanto of Head of Video is masterminding the whole thing. This is going to be the best year yet, Efron.
Oh, I agree 100%. We're going to see things I don't think we've covered before Trump was able to win and be there in person, it sounds like.
The whole point of Davos felt like stop Trump. Well, they failed, and now Trump is coming to do a victory lap at the World Economic Forum. It's sort of crazy. Avi, what do you expect? We've scrummed Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. We've scrummed, John Kerry, the former Secretary of State. There's no telling who will bump into this year.
Yeah, true, Ezra. And I'm looking forward to this year because I think one of the most important issues at the moment is the censorship and this push around the world by the globalists from, often coming from places like the WEF to push forward with this idea of censoring dissidents. And they look straight at people like us and Rebel News as their first targets. In Australia, we're seeing that push, in the UK. So I'm hoping we bump into maybe what we call the E-Karen in Australia, the E-Safety Commissioner, or even Jacinda Ardern, who potentially will be there as well, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. There's some big names still on our list, and I think that issue this year, to me, is probably up there as one of the most important, because there is this fight going on where governments are trying to silence anybody having opposing opinions.
I think their public enemy number one is Donald Trump. I think their public enemy number two is Elon Musk. There's a lot of tech people there, by the way. Palantir has a booth, Google, Facebook, and Meta, ChatGPT or OpenAI. Like there's a lot of schemers and scammers, people looking for government grants. Lots of politicians and ex-politicians like Tony Blair from the UK is always running around. The one thing that blows me away, and I still can't get over it, Avi, is how these VVIPs, I'm calling them, they walk around without security, mostly without an entourage, because they feel like they're in like a safe place, because it's so hard to get to Davos. You have to fly to Zurich, take a train up to Klosters, either drive or take a train there, and you have to, it's so hard and so far, and they think they're all amongst friends, like it's 99.9% friendlies. So they are totally have their guard down when you or I or our Rebel team puts a question to them. They can't believe it. So you actually have the ability to connect with these super VIPs because they're not expecting you.
Absolutely. And Ezra, I think you missed one of the forms of transport, which is many of them do take, that is the private jets into their secret, quiet airfield there, because they care so much about the climate.
Now, your colleague from down under, Benji, is traveling with us. Benji, I remember a moment when you were filming Larry Fink, who's one of the richest men in the world. He runs BlackRock, $10 or $20 trillion under management, and you slipped and fell, but you got right back up. It was a perfect recovery. Tell me, from your point of view, it's so hard to walk backwards to film these guys when you're walking backwards. It's snowy and icy. Tell me a little bit about the lengths that you go to as a videographer to keep up with Avi, because he's running around full tilt and you're running around full tilt backwards.
Yeah, it's not an easy job, like carrying a big camera. Especially my setup, carrying a big camera while being ahead of somebody, filming the conversation, filming the scrum. But this is what we train for as cameramans. Yeah, I've been doing this with Avi for what was that, 7 years, scrumming people, and also doing street protests. So it's all years of experience, Ezra.
Well, I tell you, you and Lincoln, our two videographers, are absolutely essential. You guys capture the magic or the lack of magic. Was there an interview that you really got a kick out of it? Was it Greta Thunberg? Was it some U.S. politician?
Well, you just said it. The Larry Fink one was a signature moment for many reasons. But we go to Davos and, we wake up every morning. We take the train into the little town or village, and we don't know what we're going to get, and we don't know what to expect. And the viewers, they see the final product. They see the interviews. Many of them don't know how much, waiting around and work goes into just securing these 2-minute interviews where half the time they're just running away from us. And with regards to Larry Fink, we were about to wrap up for the day and Benji spotted him. The sun was setting, it was almost dark out. And just because we were waiting around and we got that moment, but we had to put in the hours to get that moment. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what we come up with this year.
It's actually Benji that we've got to give him credit, because that's one of his skills. He's not just the cameraman. And I know that Lincoln, when he's saying that Larry Fink, there was a couple moments there that he enjoyed in that. And I reckon one of those moments is probably the fact that he wasn't the one that fell. But Benji, is one of his skills is picking people out. The other interview that you said that was probably one of our signature moments, Bula was also spotted by Benji. He has this unique set of skills that he's able to recognize people. I'm the worst at that. I am literally the worst. I think every morning my wife wakes up and has to tell me her name because I'm just bad with faces. So Benji, beyond being just the cameraman that can walk backwards, is also able to spot these people, which is half the job. And then obviously we have to come up with what angle, what have these people, what do we need to question these people? What do the people want to know?
There are actually hundreds of journalists at the World Economic Forum. Trouble is, they're paying members who pay 6 figures to attend. I know that's hard to believe. It gives them access. It gives them a beautiful studio inside the perimeter. It's sort of like they're within the castle and they lift up the drawbridge and we're outside of the moat. So we are not there as official journalists. We have to wait for these VVIPs to walk by, identify them, and spring into action. Sometimes we even scrum other journalists, like Richard Quest of CNN, whose specialty is giving tongue baths to these oligarchs. We've got him twice. I just got to share with you a clip from him. He's actually a pretty funny guy. Here, take a look at this.
You have followed me for the last however many minutes. I've made it clear I didn't particularly want to be interviewed. I've given you some answers. Now will you let me proceed?
Go ahead. You're about to be in your safe space. You're about to go past the gate. But
what? You know, sir,
why do you think we don't get access but you do?
I really love the fact, really love it, that you will take whatever I say, in however I say it, and manage to turn it either...
We've learned from the master. We've learned from the master.
You're doing it now. And either turn it against me, or against CNN, or against anybody else that you deem to be unworthy of your approval. Well done, sir.
Go with the masters of the universe. Go with your people.
And unlike CNN or the Wall Street Journal or any of these mega companies, we exist by crowdfunding. That's the only way we'd be able to do it. If we took any corporate money or government money, they would never let us go after people like Albert Bourla or Larry Fink. You can see all of our reports at wefreports.com, World Economic Forum reports.com. You can see our work for the past years. And we're going to land on Monday morning, and we're going to go full tilt all week. So make sure to go to wefreports.com. You'll get your fill of journalism you won't get anywhere else. And if you're moved to support our citizen journalism, you can do it right there on the page. I'm guessing that this entire trip, I'm going to give you a number that's going to shock you. I think the entire trip is going to be about $35,000. And you're thinking, why? Are you paying the entry fee? No. The World Economic Forum buys up every single hotel room and Airbnb in Davos. So we stay one town over. But even there, they multiply their rent by 10 just for the week of the World Economic Forum. You cannot get a hotel room for 4 people for less than $20,000. I know that's a shocking thing to say. You have to fly to Zurich, go up to Klosters, pay this exorbitant fee for this chalet, which is basically a couple of bunk beds. We need to pay that because the World Economic Forum has bought up every hotel room and every Airbnb. You've got to help us get there, because once we're on the ground, I think we're the most effective journalists there, because we're the only journalists there.
Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is reportedly supposed to be there. So for us to hold him accountable, I think would be a great justice to our viewers.
He's going with his new squeeze, Katy Perry. Chrystia Freeland was on the board of trustees. She is probably going.
Oh, yeah.
And I hear that Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, is going. Now, we'll see if they allow us to scrum them. I should let you know that Avi has been talking to Mark Carney every year at the World Economic Forum, and I even joined the conversation last year. Here's how it was before he became Canada's Prime Minister. Take a look.
Look, freedom of the press. I've been a public figure in Canada, been a public figure in the UK. I know you got to answer tough questions, and you guys, you ask tough questions, and that's fair.
Well, I want to thank you for saying that, because I have to say, Chrystia Freeland has not yet said anything in the vein that you have. She's been happy to let the cops do her work for her. And if she disagrees with the cops, she hasn't said so.
Well, I said what I said. So
yeah, something tells me he's not going to be as chatty with us next year. Anyways, I'm excited about it.
Oh, don't say that. I feel like we've got a long-standing relationship. I consider us friends at this point. I'm looking forward to catching up with my good friend there in the World Economic Forum. But I am, in all seriousness, thank you to everyone who supports us on this mission, because it is one of our signature things. And it every year I know you never consider whether we're going to do it or not. You just say we've got to go ahead and do it. But none of that is possible without the viewers, because it is so expensive even to be there, even beyond just the Airbnb. It is I think it's one of the most expensive places on the planet to visit generally. And when it's World Economic Forum week, all the prices are pumped up. So appreciate everyone that helps us make this happen each and every year.
Well, we're going to ask some dangerous questions. Help us if you can. WEFreports.com. We'll see you there.